The darkness covered everything, like an endless curtain that swallowed every bit of light and hope. In the corner of a forgotten bunker, Nar Carter sat curled up, his body exhausted after days of being locked away. The air was cold and wet, filled with the smell of rot, and the only sound was the drip of water from the ceiling in the quiet space. Once a proud warrior, Nar now felt despair pressing down on him like a heavy coat. Hope had left this place long ago, and all that remained was the darkness to keep him company. Nar Carter, a soldier who was once celebrated, had now fallen into deep despair at Zeta 13, a place where even light was too scared to reach. The darkness here wasn't just the lack of light. It felt alive, creeping into his soul and eating away at memories of his proud past. Far-off cries from other lost souls echoed around, reminding Nar of how powerless he felt. How'd he end up like this? Betrayed by the system he used to serve, called an inefficient asset, and thrown away like garbage. The unfairness burned inside him, but in this place, even his anger felt useless. In the thick darkness, a soft sound caught Nar's attention. It was a gentle hum, almost like a song, but mixed with a deep sadness. He listened hard, trying to figure out where it came from. The humming got closer, and Nar realized it was coming from a bunker nearby. "Who's there?" he called, his voice rough from not speaking for so long. The humming stopped, and a calm voice answered. "I'm Loris." "Who are you?" Nar paused before replying. "I'm Nar Carter. Are you a prisoner here too?" There was a silence. Then Loris spoke again. "Yes, they brought me here because they thought I was useless. But I can sense things others can't. This darkness doesn't scare me like it might scare you." Nar was curious. "What do you mean?" he asked. "I can feel vibrations and hear echoes. I know where the walls are and where the dangers hide. It's like the darkness talks to me," Loris explained. Her words made Nar think. Maybe, even in this hopeless place, there was a tiny chance for something better. "Maybe we can help each other," Nar said. "I don't have your senses, but I have experience and strength. Together, we might survive here." Loris thought about it. "Maybe, but first, we need to get out of these bunkers." Nar nodded, even though she couldn't see him. "Okay, let's see if we can find a weak spot in these bars." The loud screech of the space transporter cut through the air, as if space itself was screaming in pain. Nar Carter held tight to the safety straps, his teeth clenched as his body felt torn apart and put back together wrong. The pain wasn't just in his body. Every trip reminded him that the federal system had abandoned him, sending him to Zeta 13, a wasted land where they dumped the useless. Next to him, Loris sat quietly, her silver hair glowing faintly in the cabin's flickering lights. Her blind eyes showed only darkness, but she sat with a strange calm, like she was hearing something Nar couldn't. When the ship landed on Zeta 13, a freezing wind full of red dust blew past, scratching Nar's skin through his torn clothes. He stepped out, his feet heavy on the cracked ground, and looked around. All he saw was a dead place, sharp rocky hills, deep gaps, and a gray sky with no sign of life. "Welcome to hell," Nar muttered bitterly. Loris stepped out after him, tilting her head a little, her silver hair moving softly. "It's not as bad as you think," she said, her voice smooth but cool. "I can hear this place's heartbeat. There's life here, even if it's weak." Nar looked at her, unsure. "What do you hear?" "All I see is rocks and dust." Loris smiled, a smile that was both secret and kind. "I hear the wind moving through the cracks, tiny bugs crawling under the ground, and your heart beating faster as you try to act tough." Nar froze, feeling like she saw right through him. "Don't read me like that," he snapped, but inside, he was curious. This alien girl, with her purple skin and blind eyes, seemed to understand the world in a way he couldn't. They started walking, needing to find shelter before Zeta 13's darkness swallowed them. Every step was hard. The ground shook under Nar's feet, and he almost fell when a hole opened up suddenly. Loris grabbed his hand fast and pulled him back. "Careful," she said, calm but serious. "The ground's weak here, and something's moving underneath." Nar frowned, wondering how a blind person could guide so well. "How do you know?" he asked. Loris touched the air lightly, like she was feeling something unseen. "I feel the vibrations. The air's heavy here, it warns me." They kept going, and slowly, Nar saw that Loris wasn't just a broken thing like the Federation said. She moved with a sureness he'd never seen, every step exact, like Zeta 13's darkness and dangers were her home. When they rested by a cliff, Nar watched her. Loris's purple skin shone faintly in the gray sky, her silver hair flowing like a river. She sat, hands on the ground, listening. "There's a cave close by," she said. "It's safe for now." Nar nodded, still doubtful but trusting her. "Show me," he said, and for the first time, a small spark of hope flickered in his tired heart. Zeta 13 didn't forgive the weak. The ground under Nar Carter's feet shook slightly, like the planet was testing him. The faint gray light from the sky barely showed the rough desert of rocks, where every step could mean death. Nar held tight to the rusty metal bar he'd taken from the ship's wreck, ready for anything. Beside him, Loris moved smoothly, her silver hair glowing like a dim light in the dark. Even with blind eyes, she walked like she belonged, her hands sliding through the air, feeling vibrations Nar couldn't hear. "Come closer," Loris whispered, her voice breaking through the wind, whistling past the rocks. Nar stopped, watching her tilt her head, hands touching the ground. "There's a hole ahead, about 10 steps. Follow me, go left." Nar frowned, seeing nothing strange on the dry ground, but he followed. Seconds later, a loud crack sounded, and the ground in front of them fell away, showing a deep pit full of sharp rocks. Nar gasped, his heart racing. "How did you know?" he asked, amazed and respectful. Laura smiled, small but sure. "I heard the ground scream before it broke. Everything here makes a sound. Nar, even danger sings if you listen right." She stood, her silver hair blowing in the wind, her purple skin shining like a jewel in the dead land. Nar shook his head, impressed. He'd led tough soldiers, but he'd never met anyone like Loris, blind, called useless, yet stronger than Zeta 13 itself. They kept searching for a safe spot before night came. Loris led, every step perfect, like she had a map in her head. When they found a small cave behind a cliff, Loris stopped, hand on the stone wall. "This place is okay," she said. "No vibrations, no predators." Nar looked around, seeing only dark, cold stone, but he trusted her. They started building a simple shelter. Nar used his strength to move big rocks for a wind-blocking wall, while Loris cleverly shaped ship scraps into a strong roof. She worked fast and focused, her blind eyes no problem at all. As night came, they sat by a small fire, its weak light showing Loris's purple skin and silver hair. Nar watched her, seeing she wasn't just surviving, she was making this empty place feel like home. "You're like an old teammate I had," he said quietly. "Stubborn, never giving up, even when everything's against you." Loris turned to him, blind but listening. "And you show me strength isn't just what people see. It's what you do with it," she answered. The air felt thick, smelling of burnt metal from the poisonous winds blowing through ground cracks. Nar Carter walked carefully, his sharp eyes checking the ruined land, hand tight on the metal bar he now knew well. Beside him, Loris moved perfectly, her silver hair shining like a light in the red mist. Each step she took was like a dance with the dark, her hands brushing the air, sensing things only she could feel. They'd found a few other survivors, people Zeta 13 had crushed, like Nar and Loris. The group, just 6 of them, walked through the dead land looking for water, food, anything to last another day. But this place showed no kindness. As they crossed a narrow valley, the ground shook hard. A loud boom rang out, and a huge rock fell from the cliff, trapping 2 of them under rubble. Screams mixed with the sound of breaking stone. Nar jumped into action, his voice firm and loud. "Get back. Find cover." He ran to the rocks, pulling at them, his hands bleeding from sharp edges. But the rocks were too heavy, and time was short. Then Loris touched his shoulder, calm but urgent. "Stop, Nar. I hear them. They're alive, but not there. She knelt, hands on the ground, silver hair hiding her purple face. To the right, 3 meters down. There's a small space, but the rocks are moving. Hurry! Nar stared, amazed at her skill, but didn't wait. Show us, he said. Loris led them to the exact spot, hands moving like she drew a map in the air. With her help, Nar and the others dug carefully, keeping more rocks from falling. After tense minutes, they pulled out the 2 survivors, a man coughing hard and a young girl, eyes red from fear. How did she know? The man whispered, looking at Loris with fear and awe. Loris didn't answer, just lowered her head, silver hair hiding a small smile. Nar patted her shoulder, voice deep. Great work. You saved them. Loris shook her head. We saved them, Nar. I heard, but you led. Her words stopped him, a warm feeling growing inside. He, an old soldier thrown away, and she, an alien called a burden, were now holding up other lost people. That night, in the rough cave, the group sat around a small fire. They shared stories of loss, unfairness, and small hopes. Nar saw that, even with Zeta 13's harshness, it was creating something new, a team, a connection between broken people. Loris, next to him, hummed a sad but lively tune, like she was telling their story with sound. In the rough cave, the fire's flickering light showed Nar Carter's scarred face and troubled eyes. He sat alone, holding a metal plate with orders from the Federation bosses, sent through an old device. Nar Carter, abandoned subject Loris. Deemed a danger, not worth keeping. Do it now, or face punishment. The words were cold, empty of care, like the system that had tossed him aside. Nar glanced at Loris, a few steps away, her silver hair glowing in the firelight, purple skin shining like a gem in the dark. She hummed softly, hands on the ground, feeling Zeta 13's hidden shakes. She'd saved them from the rockfall, guided them through dangers no one else saw. Yet the Federation called her a danger. Nar clenched his fists, anger burning inside. But deeper was fear. If he followed orders, he'd lose something Zeta 13 hadn't taken yet. A quiet sound broke his thoughts. Loris stopped humming, facing him as though her blind eyes couldn't see. You're worried, she said, voice smooth but sure. Your heartbeat's uneven. What's wrong, Nar? He hesitated, the metal plate heavy in his hand. They want me to... He stopped, voice rough. They wanted to leave you, Loris. They say you're a danger. His words hung heavy, like Zeta 13's toxic air. Loris stayed quiet, then laughed softly, a sad but strong smile. They call me useless too, but you've seen what I can do. Will you listen to them? Nar. Her question cut deep into his mixed feelings. Nar thought of his army days, obeying without question, only to be betrayed. He remembered his old teammates' eyes, ones he couldn't save, and now saw Loris, a being looked down on, but the only one keeping him from feeling alone here. Nar stood, tossing the metal plate into the fire. It hissed, smelling of burnt metal. No, he said strongly. I won't leave you. You're one of us, Loris. More than that, you're why we're alive. Loris tilted her head, silver hair moving, and though blind, she seemed to feel his change. Thank you, she whispered, voice shaking a little, showing weakness for the first time. But you know the cost, right? Nar nodded, knowing she couldn't see. I do. But if I let them decide your worth, I'd be like the system that threw me away. He stepped closer, hand on her shoulder, a rare sign of closeness. We'll face whatever they send, together. Loris put her hand on his, a silent, strong moment, like two broken people finding each other in the dark. Nar Carter stood outside, sharp eyes scanning the valley where shadowy enemies, a federal patrol, moved closer. After refusing to ditch Loris, Nar knew the Federation wouldn't let it slide. They'd sent a team to handle the rebels, and now the survivors faced life or death. The patrol's metal steps echoed, each one a deadly warning. Nar gripped his metal bar, ready to fight, but knew they couldn't win head-on. We need a plan, he whispered, looking at Loris. She stood, hands in the air, feeling far-off shakes. I hear them, 12 people, 3 machines. From the east, but there's more. She paused, purple face tight. Their security has a control signal. I can mess it up. NAR frowned. Mess it up? How? Laura smiled, secret and sure. With sound, NAR. She stepped out, silver hair blowing in Zeta 13's toxic wind. She hummed, not sad this time, but sharp and loud. Her voice mixed with the air, making waves so strong NAR felt them in his chest. Then, a small blast came from the patrol. One machine smoked, its circuits fried by Loris's sound. Keep it up, NAR yelled, leading the survivors into the fight. Loris stood steady, hands up, her singing a weapon, breaking the patrol systems. The soldiers panicked as their gear failed, and NAR's group used rocks and metal to push back. In the chaos, Loris reached an abandoned radio, still buzzing. She touched it, singing stronger, making it screech and explode. The patrol, lost without tech, ran off into the dark. When the fight ended, the group circled Loris, eyes wide with wonder and respect. NAR patted her shoulder, voice deep and proud. You didn't just save us, Loris. You made sound of power. Loris bowed her head, silver hair hiding a tired smile. I did what I could, but we need more, NAR. We need a fortress, a place where we're not hunted. That night, in the cave, Loris and NAR planned with the group. They used patrol scraps and Loris's sound skills to make simple, strong defenses. The rough cave turned into a small fortress with solid stone walls and sensors Loris built. She gave backslash and gave life to everyone, making lost people a team. NAR watched her, seeing this wasn't just surviving. It was the start of fight back, showing the useless could change everything. The small fortress Nar Carter and Loris made from scraps and grit was now the heart of a new community. Echo 13, named for the hope Loris's sounds brought. The cave fire burned bright, lighting up survivors' faces. People society threw away, now finding a home. Nar stood in the middle, his eyes not bitter anymore, but guiding, seeing worth in broken lives. Loris, with her shiny purple skin and flowing silver hair, moved among them, hands on the stone walls, feeling Echo 13's shakes. She wasn't just part of it, she was its heart. Every day, she used her sound sense to fix defenses, making simple sensors to spot danger far off. This isn't just a hideout, she told our one night on a cliff, looking over the valley. It's family. Her voice sang, heavy with trust. Nar nodded, gripping his war metal bar. He'd thought his skill was war, leading, killing. But at Echo 13, he learned his real power was seeing light in the worthless. He set up teams to find supplies, taught them to fight with rough weapons, and made them believe they weren't trash like the Federation said. You're right, he said, looking at Loris. We're not just getting by. We're making something bigger. Echo 13 grew stronger. New survivors, kicked out from other worlds, came, drawn by talk of a place where the tossed aside stood tall. A woman with a busted robot arm, once called outdated, fixed fortress gear. A scared alien kid ran messages through rock gaps to warn of trouble. Each had a story, and with NAR and Loris leading, they found purpose. But it wasn't always easy. One night, with toxic wind screaming through the valley, Nar saw Loris alone at the fortress edge, arms around herself against the cold. You okay? He asked, stepping close. Loris turned, blind but shaky-voiced. I thought I'd never fit anywhere, but here, I'm scared this dream could break. Nar put his hand on her shoulder, a sign of trust now. This dream won't break, Loris. It's made by people like you, ones who don't quit. Rough lamps from tech scraps lit the stone walls, once just a cold cave. Nar Carter stood high, sharp eyes on the red dust horizon where storm clouds warned of trouble. Loris stood by him, silver hair wild in the poison wind, hands feeling odd shakes. They're coming, she said, voice sweet but tight. Warships bigger than before. The Federation wants us gone. Nar gripped his metal bar, scars telling of old fights. Echo 13 got too loud. New folks came, spreading word of a tough community where the thrown-out fought fate. The Federation, scared of change and new strength, wanted to kill this spark before it spread. They think we're trouble, an AR muttered, voice low but fierce. They'll see we're more. All of Echo 13 got ready fast. Loris, feeling shakes, tracked the fleet and ran the defense sensors. She hummed sharp, tweaking signals to mess up Federation gear from afar. An AR, with war smarts, split survivors into small teams, using Zeta 13's rough land for traps. The robot arm engineer fixed wall strong. The alien kid sped through rocks, passing orders fast. Each one, once called useless, gave their all to save their home. When the Federation ships showed, the sky shook with engine roars. A cold voice boomed. Nar Carter, give up and hand over Loris, or Echo 13's done. An AR stood on the wall, eyes daring them. They don't get us, Loris, he said, turning to her. They think they can split us. Loris smiled, hands up, her song bursting into a wave that shook enemy radios. They're wrong, she said, and the whole community roared together, united. The fight hit hard. NAR led a team, dodging shots with rocks and metal. Loris, in the fortress heart, ran the sound system, smashing Federation drones. A shell hit near the wall, dirt flying, but the alien kid pulled a friend from danger. The engineer sparked a homemade trap, killing a war machine. Outnumbered, Echo 13 held, not with weapons, but with heart, each fighting for the family they'd made. When the Federation ran, leaving smoking wrecks, NAR and Loris stood together, eyeing the wrecked land. We did it, Loris said, tired but proud. NAR put his hand on her shoulder, a trust sign. More than lived, Loris. We showed them unity beats any gun. Scrap lamps lit the strong stone walls, once a bear cave. Nar Carter stood high, eyes on the growing community. Humans, aliens, all ditched by the world, but now a family. Loris stood with him, silver hair like a moon, purple skin glowing dim. She touched a rough radio, feeling its buzz, a small smile on her. We've made it, Loris said, voice soft but strong. But just making it isn't enough. We need the galaxy to know the forgotten can rise. NAR nodded, eyes set. The Federation fight proved Echo 13's might, but he knew they'd keep coming. They needed a loud call, reaching lost ones tag useless like them. Loris went to the fortress center, where a sound machine she and the engineer built waited. Not just a radio, but a hope weapon, boosting her voice across worlds. She stood, hands high, humming. Her tune wasn't just noise. It was a tale, a call, mixed with Zeta 13's shakes, survival memories, and faith in better days. Come to us, she sang, voice ringing through the machine, waves hitting space. Stand, you forgotten. Echo 13's your home. NAR watched, full of respect. He'd been a fighter, but Loris showed him words could hit hearts. Echo 13 gathered, from the alien kid to the engineer, quiet as she sang. When she stopped, the machine hummed, message sent past stars. A woman, faith gone, wiped tears. I never thought I'd belong, she whispered. Loris turned, blind but kind. You do now. Days later, replies came. From far worlds, survivors, humans, aliens, system rejects, answered. Some swore to reach Echo 13, bringing skills and tales. NAR and Loris stood on the wall, red dust sky ahead. You did it, Loris, NAR said, voice deep, proud. You gave him hope. Loris shook her head, silver hair swaying. No, not. We did. Together. Echo 13, a rough fort in Zeta 13's core, turned into a bright beacon in the dead land. Stone walls built with sweat and guts stood against poison wind and red dust. Handmade lamps glowed, lighting community faces, humans, aliens once trash, now tall, eyes hopeful. Nar Carter stood on the wall, his old metal bar swapped for a rough radio, showing his new job. Not just fighter, but spark. Beside him, Loris, purple skin shining, silver hair free, touched a sensor, blind eyes but soul blazing. Loris, once broken, was Echo 13's heart. She led with sound and shakes, and her songs told of survival and fight. Daily, she stood at the sound machine, sending calls, pulling lost ones in. "We're not just hiding," she told NAR one morning, gray Zeta 13 light on her face. "We're building a future." NAR nodded, eyes proud. "And you're making it real, Loris." With them leading, Echo 13 spread. New survivors from far planets came, with skills and stories. An alien doc, hands shaky but mind sharp, saved the hurt. An old engineer, Federation reject, made water cleaners from junk. Each found a spot, and NAR, seeing worth in the wrecked, helped them fit, making Echo 13 a tight crew where kindness and difference were power. But tests kept coming. The Federation pushed back, watched from shadows, wary and scared. And AR and Loris knew bigger fights loomed, maybe an army or a plot to wipe them out. But they weren't scared. "We turned dark to light," and AR said, hand on Loris's shoulder, a sign of team. Loris smiled, voice ringing. "And we'll keep doing it, whatever comes." Echo 13 wasn't just a hideout. It proved unity, valuing all, and grit could beat anything. And AR and Loris, once useless, led a strong crew, aiming for a brighter tomorrow. Their tale's not done. It's the start of a new road, where hope's light keeps growing, no matter what's ahead.